Apple by default does not let you hide menu bar items, which is strange because they already have this feature for control center elements, just not for apps. I thought if it doesn't exist, then I should make it. So that's what I did. 2 weeks ago, I released a Mac app, but just 4 weeks ago, I had zero experience with macOS development. So how did I do it? In this video, I'll break down my process. Step 1. The basics. Before I could go and release a Mac app, I first needed to understand the basics of how an app for macOS would even begin to work. In other words, I needed the Hello World for Mac apps. And for that, I used this video by Karin, which explains everything you would need to get up and running for macOS development. Sidebars, menu bar items, keyboard shortcuts, views, controllers, models, it's all here. Links in the description. Step 2. A strong foundation. Instead of making the app from scratch, it's much faster to see something that already exists. Luckily for me, there are multiple apps that solve the problem I have. The most popular of which is Bartender. But Bartender is paid, meaning there was no chance for me to get hold of the code. So I went with the next best thing, an open source solution named Ice by Jordan Baird. Step 3. Breaking it down. After getting the source code for Ice and running the app from Xcode, I started to look through the project folder structure and dependencies of Ice. By default, Ice provides additional functionality aside from hiding menu bar items, which I don't really want to use. So I started by deleting the files and dependencies which I knew would have no benefit in the final product. For example, core, graphics, color plus brightness. I don't really want to change the menu bar color. Step 4. Cleaning it up. After removing the unwanted files, I also noticed the project structure is quite complex and a bit difficult to navigate. So I changed it from this to this. Let's run it and check if it works. Nice. Step 5. Launch. With the app working, it was finally time to launch. Now, there are many ways to distribute a Mac app. I chose to use the disk image format because that's what I usually see from other apps. Xcode and the built-in disk utility app on macOS make this very easy to do. I made a production build of the app. I then added a link to the applications folder in the build folder. And finally, I turned that build folder into a DMG file. And that's it. I will call the app Barp. You can check out the website for Barp and download it or get the code for yourself. Links in the description. All in all, building Barp was a great way to quickly get a bird's eye view of macOS development, and shows as long as you put your mind to something and don't give up, you can accomplish anything, even with zero experience.